Hello, everybody! So, I'm sure this is a little weird to see because you're probably going, what am I looking at and where are we? Well, this video is being made for a couple reasons, but I could only do it now because of something I was able to accomplish yesterday. Forgive me if I take a moment here to, show off, but I'm also very extremely happy and giddy about this. I got them. The offhand Warglaive dropped from me yesterday. I finally have both Warglaives, as you can see, and I'm wielding them right now. And just to extra prove it, there it is, the achievement. The Warglaives of Azeroth. I cannot tell you guys how happy I am that I got this set. Now I just have to wait for the Time Walking Black Temple to come back around, and I'll be able to unlock them as a transmog. In the meantime, the reason we're here, we are in the Caverns of Time, in case you can't tell by the giant hourglass over there. The reason we're here is because there is actually a secret Easter egg that you can be able to discover if you are wielding this set when you do one of the dungeons here. Now, I'm also wanting to partially show at least one of the trifecta of dungeons that was released in the final patch, Hour of Twilight, for Cataclysm. If you guys remember, back in Wrath of the Lich King, there was a set of, when I say a set, I mean 3, there was a set of 3 dungeons that came out that led into the Icecrown Citadel raid, which was the Forge of Souls, the Pit of Saren, and the Halls of Reflection, which all followed one after the other in a cohesive story, which was leading right into the raid. They decided to do the same thing here in Cataclysm, a set of heroic-only dungeons, the End Time, the Well of Eternity, and the Hour of Twilight, which would lead directly into the Dragon Soul raid. So, I'm not actually going to show you the Hour of Twilight dungeon. It's not really that, I'm not really that fond of that dungeon. I'm going to very briefly show you just a single piece from the End Time dungeon, and then we're going to go to the Well of Eternity dungeon, because that's what we're really going to focus on today. But the reason I want to go in here real quick, by the way, I got this mount, which I'm so happy I got for my Demon Hunter, or Demon Hunters, because I think it's just awesome. I think it's better than, this is supposed to be the Demon Hunter class hall mount from Legion. It's okay. But this one, so good. So much better, in my opinion. Anyways, we're going into this because, well, I want to show you this firsthand. Because this is one of the most incredible visuals I've ever seen in this game. By the way, this is a fun dungeon to do when we're doing time walking, which I expect I'll be doing this week a bit because Time Walking Cataclysm is actually going on this week, and this is one of the dungeons you can do. So, to explain a bit, this is a... actually, hold on, are they going to talk here? Well, maybe not. That's Nosdormu, the aspect of time. This isn't a possible future. Remember the whole thing with the Bronze Dragonflight? Being able to see possible futures. Yeah, the whole time thing is weird during this particular expansion. This is what I want to show you. Okay, Pepe's in the way. Pepe, why are you getting in the way? Sorry. Anyways. Alright, that right there. Look at that. This is a possible future where Deathwing won. We didn't stop him. He was victorious. The Hour of Twilight happened. And this is what happened. The world was destroyed. He won. And he killed himself. He impaled himself on Wyrmrest Temple. After succeeding in his plan. I mean, that's like wallpaper quality right there for your PC. That's just like an incredible visual that is just so telling. I would like, you know, there are... The thing that I like about this dungeon is the possible echoes that you could fight here. It doesn't let you fight all of them, unfortunately. I really wish I could show you all of them, because the Sylvanas one is definitely really, really great. You can fight either a Echo of Bane, Jaina, Sylvanas, or Tyrande, and then you fight Murozond, trying to stop his plan to make sure this feature comes to pass, because the Infinite Dragon Flight is pretty crazy. Speaking of which, I do enjoy being able to fly through this place here on my Infinite Time Reaver mount, because I imagine they see me fly by and they're like, oh my gosh! Ah! They just flip out seeing me riding an infinite dragon around here. I just think that's really funny. I do have a bronze dragon, but I'd like to imagine their faces just freaking out seeing me using this mount. Anyways, this is the real reason we're here. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do fine here with the Warglaives. They are legendary weapons, but they, of course, were from Burning Crusade. This is a Cataclysm dungeon. Arrived. So I'm hoping this is not...
the Sundering, when the collapse of the Well of Eternity fractured the continents of the world. Here we will snatch up the Dragon Soul before it is lost to the mists of time. But first, you must bring down the protective wards of Ajara's highborn lackeys. You will find them within the palace. I will scout on ahead.
Yes, that is Martin
Good luck,
Sheen.
Heroes.
Thank you, Elusive Man. I do like that they got Martin Sheen to do this character. I'm sorry, I can't help but think of the Elusive Man. It's one of my favorite roles he's ever done. You know what I like about this dungeon? Is that we are basically doing with the Dragon Soul, and yes, this is spoil. I'm about to drop a spoiler for Avengers Endgame. If you haven't seen it, well, sorry, it's been months, so hopefully you have seen it by then. It's not a huge spoiler, but it is a minor spoiler, so I'm giving you a moment to either mute or pause or leave. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In Avengers Endgame, they use the time travel to try and get the Infinity Stones at different points in time and then bring them back to their current time. And when Banner talks to the Ancient One about this, she says, if you're going to do this, you have to make sure you bring them back and put them back where you got them. Otherwise, it's going to cause a different alternate reality. And the idea is that they went back in time, they took them, they brought them back to their time, used them, and then they put them back where they were. It's basically the same thing that we do here in this dungeon. We're going to get the Dragon Soul before it's destroyed, take it back to the present, use it against Deathwing, and then return it back to the past. So that way it's, you know, basically where it never left, so to speak. That's what I immediately thought of when I saw them do this in the Avengers Endgame. I was thinking of what happened in this dungeon with the Dragon Soul. So, anyways.
All that matters is this moment.
Anyways, I'm hoping...
He is near, lurking in the shadows. I can sense it. You, Felguard, hold this area. The rest of you, secure the courtyard.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I'm hoping that even though these Warglaives are not considered very strong anymore, because they're only item level 90, and they were Burning Crusade weapons, whereas this is a Cataclysm heroic dungeon, that even though I'm a 206, it says it. Oh yeah, it's because of these, because I have some decent weapons here. Yeah, the weapons I have are obviously better than this. I'm hoping that it won't be a problem, because I really want to show you guys a very cool secret Easter egg that happens if you come to this dungeon wielding them. Now you're probably wondering, why would there be an Easter egg here? Remember, in case you didn't catch what Nozdormu was telling us, this is taking place, this dungeon, we are back in time during the War of the Ancients. We are like 10,000 years, or you know, in the past when the War of the Ancients took place. So there are certain people here in the past that are here during this event that we're going to be running into. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Let's see if I can hopefully take this guy down without any issues. I really hope it's not going to be a problem.
I'm out of range.
Okay, never mind. I can one-shot these guys with the Warglaives. I'm good. We're okay.
Over here, in the shadows.
Illidan!
I think we stand a better chance fighting alongside one another.
Indeed. Now, I will say before we get underway here... Look, I've made it very clear in the past. Yes. Illidan, let me have a chance to talk, okay? I've always, I've never... let me start over. I've always made it clear and have been vocal that I am a fan of Illidan. I've never shied away from that. I've never been embarrassed about that. I am a huge fan of Illidan. I think he's an awesome character. One of my favorite characters ever. So let's just say I got extra giddy and happy yesterday when these fell because I want my demon hunters to be able to, go around wielding these as a transmog because I want to be able to represent them as fans and followers of Illidan. That's why I want to wield these. I find it interesting he's not wielding these, the Azeroth ones. He gets them later, that he's wielding those. But that's partly what's going to happen with the secret dialogue Easter egg that you're going to encounter here while I'm wielding these. But I bring up how much I am a fan of Illidan because this is the one time in this game, other than how they wrote him in Burning Crusade, where the person who wrote this dungeon decided to change Illidan's character. This is not really the Illidan that I'm a fan of. The Illidan you're going to see in this dungeon is actually more of a villain.
Explain your presence.
I am Illidan. I'm explaining it right now. The guy who wrote this dungeon made Illidan more of a bad guy, more of a villain than the interesting, complex character that he is, because he thought it would be more interesting if he was a bad guy who just happened to be on our side. And many, many people complained about this, because that is not an accurate depiction of Illidan's character. And I'm sorry, but I have an issue with the fact that the writer decided to take liberties with a already established character. I'm one of those who believes you don't decide to change how a character is because you think it would be more interesting unless you're going to legitimately do something with it. My examples to this would be how they did some changes with some of the characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to their comic parallels. I've heard people say that the Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is different than how he is in the comics, but people actually like that because some people didn't like the comic version of Tony Stark and much rather preferred how he was in the MCU. So if you're going to do some changes to a character who is established, do something good with it. And in my opinion, as well as the opinion of many others, they didn't really do that with Illidan in this dungeon. So I just want to get that out of the way before we get underway here. Because you're going to hear Illidan say things that he just normally would not say.
Are you here to help?
Yes, Illidan. Alright, fine, let's do
We now
this.
hide in shadows.
Okay, apparently I have a thing where it just skips the dialogue there.
Save this world.
Sorry about that.
So many demons, not enough time.
See, that's something he wouldn't normally say. So many demons, not enough time.
Be ready.
Okay.
My magic is fading. I'm going through. Attack. I don't like to be killed. Death to the Legion! It's too far away. Destroy the crystal so we can move on. Go! We're leaving. Stay close.
I've always also enjoyed Liam O'Brien's
They come endlessly from the palace.
depiction and voice acting of Illidan. I do enjoy the voice actor from Warcraft 3 as well, don't get me wrong, but I thought Liam O'Brien just did a phenomenal job in as
I'll let
Illidan
you
in WoW.
have the first kill. Don't make me my blades hunger.
See, that's another dialogue he says. I'll let you have the first kill. Don't make me regret that. And I'm like, that's not Illidan. He wouldn't say that.
We're leaving. Stay close.
I still can't believe I'm actually wielding the set of the Warglaives of Asenath, that I finally got these.
The stench of sulfur and brimstone. These portals are as foul as the demons themselves.
To give you guys an idea, like, almost every week I would farm Black Temple with my 2 Demon Hunters, my 2 Death Knights, my Rogue, my Warrior, and my Monk.
Cut this one down from the shadows. Death to the Legion! Let us shut down this final portal and finish this.
I do have some other,
They
like...
stand unaware that their deaths are moments away. My blades hunger! Smash the crystal. We need to move. Go! Go! We're leaving. Stay close.
I like how he and I look like mirror images.
We'll be leaving. We will be at the palace in no time.
Who shut down the portals? Clever little worms.
The demons are no longer pouring from the palace. We can move ahead. Too easy.
Let me turn up the game a little bit.
Another demon ready to be slaughtered.
No more! No! How can this be?
The hunter became the prey.
Curious weapons you wield. Such power. You seem prepared. See, that's the dialogue I was wanting to show off for you guys. He only says that if you are coming here wielding the Warglaives, because of course he hasn't gotten them yet. So he looks at them, he's like, curious weapons you wield. Such power. And I would have loved to have heard Liam O'Brien actually voice act those lines. They probably added those in afterwards, because why would they not have him voice act that? But I would love to know, would he have just said, you seem prepared? Or would he have said the whole, you seem prepared? I would have loved to have heard him do that. But yeah, that's the dialogue I want to show off for you guys. But yeah, to go back what I was saying, I actually had a couple more, like I had another monk and a couple other warriors that are very low level that I'm leveling, and I was planning on using them to farm Black Temple as well if I hadn't gotten them yet, but woo, boy. Now you probably think, oh, you're probably relieved you don't have to go through Black Temple anymore, right? Actually, no, because there are still some transmog sets I have to collect. The thing is now I can actually do it with other classes now instead of just those 5 specific ones, because I didn't want to risk a Warglaive dropping for a class that could not pick it up, especially the offhand one, because there are others that can pick up the main hand Warglaive, but just not the offhand one. Anyways, I really hope it doesn't skip the dialogue box here.
You
It
did
did.
well, but for now I must continue alone. Good hunting.
I don't know why it's doing that. There's probably an add-on I have that's actually doing that automatically, and I would rather it didn't. And there he goes. Yeah, remember, this is during the War of the Ancients, where, of course, he and some other Night Elves are trying to deal with what's going on. Also, remember, a certain queen is here. Here now, Stormmoon.
In time, all things
Alright,
are
so
possible.
now, I believe I'm supposed to... Yeah, don't go over here. Or do I? No. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's... Nope, yeah, go this way.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range. I don't have a target.
Hee hee hee. Anyway, that's, you know, that dialogue was the main reason I wanted to show you guys that, you know, kind of the main purpose for this video. But I may as well show you the rest of this dungeon, because it's actually a pretty cool dungeon. It has a couple of things that happen here that I think are really interesting. Like, for example, you see that over there? Oh, this wall. That's the Dragon Soul. That's what we're here for, to bring to the not the future, the present, so that we can use it against Deathwing. You'll also notice what's going on down there. Infernals, the dragons. Remember, this is the War of the Ancients. The Dragonflights and the Night Elves, they're fighting the Burning Legion. And there is Queen Azshara. And some enchanted magus, who of course are her royal guard, who worship her. Now, unfortunately, I've had this dungeon actually bug. Like, if I face this way, I've had a giant black screen just kind of in that direction. And then I'll turn this way and it's fine. You see what I mean? Can you see it a little bit right there? Yeah. So you see that, yeah. I've had it where it covers this entire area. Hopefully it's not going to be that, because there are a couple of things from this, the rest of the way, I do want to show you guys because of how cool they are. Hello, Queen Azshara. Immune to all forms of damage. Okay.
I pray that the light of 1,000 moons will grant me...
Okay, so apparently her dialogue is bugged because it's saying that she's yelling something, but it's not showing the dialogue.
Yes, light of lights. My life
So,
is yours.
sorry. I don't know why it's bugging her dialogue. Perhaps because I attacked her. I hope that's not the case.
Flower of life calls upon me. I will not fail you, my queen.
Interrupt.
Yep, her dialogue is bugged. So yeah, this dungeon also has a history of being buggy. Remember the black screen I mentioned? Yeah, this is another possible bug that can happen. In fact, look at this. You see that? Look at that.
At your side, my queen.
Even the mount is all bugged. Yeah. Ooh.
It is them!
Nice.
Heroes, we have been sent by Nose Dormu. Quickly, on our backs. We must get you to the Dragon Soul.
So unfortunately, because her dialogue bugged, I couldn't be able to actually show you some of the examples of the arrogance and the smugness that Azshara is known for. But this alone is telling. We defeated her followers, and she has her handmaidens give us loot. Because it's Azshara. Because that's just how she is. She's like, oh, congratulations. Alright, so now what you are about to see is actually a very telling moment from the War of the Ancients, which is also critical to the history of Deathwing. And you can see what I mean. See how black this is? You can't even see anything below it. I'm really hoping it's going to allow me to show you what happens next without it bugging out.
Sister, look! The artifact is surrounded by an aura of darkness.
The aspects.
The aspects up, see? There's, see, you
Come,
can't
sister.
see them!
It is time to end this. We will cleanse the Dragon Soul of the old god's dark influence.
It is too powerful.
How dare you touch my creation? It is mine! Mine!
Neltharion!
Mine!
What have you done? You have doomed us all to the madness of the old gods!
Is mine!
He is lost, our sister. He is Neltharion.
The power of
no
the
longer.
soul is tearing him apart!
not be denied.
The old gods protect the soul.
The link to the portal must be broken. Quickly, to Storm Rage.
Oh, man. I want to show you guys that, but that is just... Oh, hey, Illidan.
Close the portal, brother.
It is being maintained by the will of a powerful demon, Manaroth. I cannot break his will alone.
Very well. We shall break it for you.
He knows what we attempt. We have not much time. The forest grows with his demons.
Let them come.
Mother Moon, guide us through this darkness.
Okay, now they've stopped talking, I have a chance to comment on what you probably just saw. So, that voice you heard from the Dragon Soul, the one that said, an unknown evil, that was clearly N'Zoth, or N'Zuth, if you want to go by how they say it in Dragon Soul. What I love about that moment is Deathwing, or rather Neltharion, because he wasn't Deathwing yet, he was Neltharion. Now, some people complained about the model they used, that they basically just used the same Deathwing model, even though that's not what he should have looked during this time. But the devs were, you can understand why they were like, look, we weren't going to make a whole new model just for a one-time thing that it was going to be used for, this one single instance. Even though it would have been cool to see that, I can understand why they didn't do it. But what I love is, like, Neltharion going, it is mine! Mine! You could, like, imagine him, like, reaching out for it, just desperately reaching for it, saying, how dare you touch my creation! It's mine! Mine! Like, he's clawing through the blast from the Dragon Soul by N'Zoth to try and get to it because he's so obsessed with it. N'Zoth saying, go away, and he's like, I will not be denied! I just love how that's very telling of how far Neltharion's obsession and insanity had been going to that point. That he was more obsessed with, like, having the Dragon Soul be his as opposed to what was really going on at that point. And what you saw him getting pushed back, that was the blast from the Dragon Soul basically blasting him away towards Deepholm and the Maelstrom, where he was going to have to literally spend years recovering, having the adamantium plates put on him to keep his body from falling apart because of the amount of power that was blasted on him with the Dragon Soul. But again, it's that, those lines, it is mine, 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 I will not be denied. Just wow. Just awesome. So, I mentioned here's Illidan, and here's Malfurion and Tyrande, and you probably heard mention of an old buddy of ours, Manaroth. Yup. Yeah, this is a little fun bit here. So we get to move forward and try and take down some of these Doom Guards and such as we move forward. Yeah, basically, as soon as I move forward, look at this, they are all heading straight for me. Okay, I guess we're just kind of moving on through a whole bunch of Doom Guards. And of course, yeah, the idea is that Illidan and Tyrande and such, they would be helping us.
I can't attack that.
And apparently this guy cannot be attacked. Is it because I have to wait for the others? Is that what's going on here? Oh, yep, I have to wait for them. Because Illidan said, weak, pitiful creatures, hardly worthy of being called a legion. Again, the arrogance that he's showing, this is just not really Illidan. This is not really something that Illidan would usually say.
Illidan, what is in that vial? What are you doing?
Wait. I have an idea.
This is something else as well.
What our people could not.
The waters of eternity.
can feel the raw power of the Well of Eternity! It is time to end this charade!
So now that we have that buff, we could be able to take on this Doombringer.
Thou then, see that I am not disrupted by this rabble.
High Guard, to arms! For your queen! For Ajara!
Uh-huh. Come on, you two.
Handle Varathin.
Mighty lights! I have failed you. I am sorry, my Ajara.
And I will show
Look at how much health he has.
to those. Yes, yes. I can feel his burning eyes upon me.
I will handle the demons. Elune, guide my arrow.
And then your world will be unmade.
He's done it.
Life
The portal is
has
collapsing.
nothing. No! This victory will not be ripped from my grasp. I will not return to him in failure. I will not be torn from this pitiful world. No! No!
The artifact!
Hey, Chromie.
The dragon soul is safe once again. Quickly, into the time portal before this world sunders.
Hold on. There's supposed to be some extra dialogue here between these three.
Malfurion.
Hush, Tyrande. Where is Illidan?
By the very edge.
He's literally right over here, Malfurion.
Brother, a timely arrival.
Illidan! The well is out of control!
Aye. It's been twisted and turned by too many spells. The fuss we, especially you, made with the portal was too much. The same spell that sent the Burning Legion back into their foul realm now works on the well. It's devouring itself and taking its surroundings with it. Fascinating, isn't it?
Not if we're caught up in it. Why weren't you running? What have you been doing with your hand in the well?
If you've a way out of here, we should probably use it. I've tried casting myself and Tyrande out of here, but the well is too much in flux.
This way.
I do not know who you are, but I thank you. Without your aid, our world would be... I do not wish to think about it. Moon Goddess, light your path.
Huh. By the way, in case you're wondering why are they just kind of cool with me being here, well, it's mainly because right now this character is a night elf. But if I was not a night elf, the bronze dragons would actually make me look like a night elf. Because, of course, there wouldn't really be any other races except night elves here.
We meet again.
Alright. So now this is how you would go to the very next dungeon, which is the one called Hour of Twilight, where you would go to help out Thrall at Dragonblight.
Hello. Farewell.
So you would go ahead and do that. So that's what I mainly want to show you guys. This dungeon is still a little buggy, though, and I apologize for the bugginess of not being able to actually see the characters like Alex Straza and Deathwing. I hope Blizzard becomes aware of this bug and perhaps tries to fix it or patch it up, because it's very irritating. Because it's a very cool dungeon and a very cool Easter egg to be able to come here with the Warglaives of Azeroth. Though I do want to comment real quick on the dialogue that you just heard. Again, it made it seem more like Illidan's a villain. Like, he's like, yes, look at this. The world is burning around me, and I love to see it burn. It's like, no, that's not Illidan. That's not why he did what he did. That wasn't his reason for what he did with the Well of Eternity. And then, here's another bit where he says, I've tried casting myself and Tyrande out of here, but the well's too much in flux. He's saying he wanted to just get himself and Tyrande out here, but not Malfurion. The implication that he didn't care enough about Malfurion, or that he was spiteful towards Malfurion because of the romance between Malfurion and Tyrande, that he would have just left his brother here to die. Which is also not true, because we know for a fact from Warcraft 3 onwards that Illidan was the one who actually would reach his hand out towards Malfurion to put the past behind them and mend the bridge between them, instead of Malfurion. Illidan was the one who reached his hand out to make amends, not Malfurion. So I'm sorry, but this dialogue very, very much irritates me, because it is such an insult to Illidan's character. I just realized that the sounds and the dungeon and the music are probably drowning me out, so sorry about that. So let's just go ahead and, I guess... Alright, so let me show you guys what's like. So, hi Chromie.
Haven't we done this before?
Take me to the next dungeon, please. So I know, a video that was about like a few seconds of extra Easter egg dialogue became a video that was over half an hour long. I know. So I'm hoping this will let me just exit. Just exit the dungeon. Nope, apparently not. Oh, here it is. I was standing right behind me, right in front of it. And it was just right behind me. Oops. Alright. Oh gosh, let me show you guys Dragon Salt. No. No. I already did that. I don't necessarily want to do that again. So, yeah. Let's just say I'm very, very happy about this and being able to have the opportunity when Time Walking Burning Crusade comes back around, probably in a couple of months, to be able to try my hand at doing Time Walking Black Temple. Obviously, I need to study up a bit more on the actual mechanics of the bosses in that raid. But what I'm more so interested in hoping is that I find a group of people who are actually going to be patient enough to want to go through the whole thing and see it to the very end, to help players like myself who now have an opportunity to unlock these. And in case you're curious, the way this works, many of us know that the legendaries from before Legion are not available as transmogs. The only way to be, the Warglaives of Azeroth are an exception. So the way to get these unlocked as a transmog, and keep in mind they are for demon hunters only. Only demon hunters can get these unlocked as transmogs. So the way this works is you have to have the achievement for wielding a set of the Warglaives. So this feat of strength right here for wielding them. And then you have to beat Illidan in Time Walking Black Temple. That will then get you another achievement showing that you've done that, and will unlock them as available transmogs for your demon hunters only. So now that I have this achievement finally for having gotten a set of these, I'll be able to actually unlock them as transmogs for my demon hunters once I go through Black Temple, Time Walking Black Temple, and beat Illidan. So hopefully I can be able to pull that off. Hope you enjoyed seeing that extra dialogue from Illidan there. And I will see you guys next time. Pepe, we'll hope to see you guys next time. Cute little Pepe. Stay tuned.